What to do, everyone? Welcome to now the fourth episode of Keeping Up with the RDF. Um, you got your boys here. You got Charlie, Johnny. I'm just gonna stick with Becker. I hate saying Johnny squared, so I'm just gonna be Becker for now. Before we get to it, let's give a huge celebration today for our guards, baby. Opening day. Come on now.
Let's go.
Even though they play at 10 o'clock, we are shooting this podcast at 9, so we know after this, instantly Guardians being put on the TV. But I had to make sure I represent. Just went to a thrift store too, and it's dude. I didn't even show this shit. Jacobs Fields era edition hat, and when I got it at the thrift store, they said it's never been worn and it's all authentic. And I'm like, say less. I don't even care.
Damn.
And it was a Christmas present, so I'm like, fuck yeah. Anyways, this episode is exciting. It's gonna be, what was it again? Trades in the graveyard. So basically, this is probably one of our most exciting ones out of all four now that we've done. And we're basically going to be talking about trades that we either have accepted, or it's going to be trades that we got offered that were interesting, or some fucking terrible trades that we're going to be roasting the teams. And we were talking about before we started the podcast, and it's going to be fucking interesting. But we also have two guys in this video call who might have trades happening during this call. So we'll see how it goes. Um, but yeah, we're gonna basically just start off with trade one, and each one of us has 3 trades. So we're gonna be talking about 9 trades in total. So since my name is on the first one, I'll get it started. And this is also one of the most recent trades in the league. And first, it was with actually my dad. He got Ted McMillan, Christian McCaffrey, Jacoby Myers, and Isaiah Likely. And I got Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins, Parker Washington, and pick 108. And the reason why I wanted to put this in the podcast, as they already know this, is because this is the first time I ever had people tell me that I got fleeced in this trade. Because everybody knows me, I fucking make trades like every fucking 2 weeks. But basically, out of this trade, I was looking from a standpoint from a couple reasons. So I knew for my dad, he had Ramondre Stevenson, he had DeAndre Swift. Okay, but I knew he could use another running back, and I have Bijan, Gibbs, Stephon A. So I'm like, sure, let me give up McCaffrey. But for my sake, it worked out very well for both of us. I do think my dad won this trade maybe a little bit, because it definitely makes his team look more like a playoff team now. So for his sake, he now didn't have to give up any running backs. So now he still has Christian McCaffrey, DeAndre Swift, and he also has Ramondre Stevenson as a backup currently. And sorry, my dad was like spying on me. And I also threw in Isaiah Likely. He really likes Isaiah Likely. So I just decided, oh, breaking news. My dad has put George Pickens on the trade block as we speak. So this is going to be something. That's probably why he opened up that door. So, okay, sorry. Anyways, but for my sake, I was looking at as from a dynasty standpoint, which 2 wide receivers? I'm going to ask the same question to you guys. A trade is now pending. Hold on. What the fuck is going on?
Fellas, all I'm
Hold
saying
on.
is this league just got real interesting.
Yep.
Two
I will
trades?
second that, baby. I will second that. Come
Wait.
on.
Oh, no way.
Wait. Okay, everyone. So
No
we
I was a
have
sleeper,
Michael,
baby.
Michael getting Brees Hall, QJ, a 2027 second, and another 2027 second, and Johnny getting Amon-Ra St. Brown and 211. And also on top of that, Michael also trades Kyron Williams to get pick 109 and pick 305. So since this is you guys, I think we have to fuck this episode currently and focus on these 2 trades because this might take a lot longer and we'll get back to the episode. So since technically the first one Michael accepted was Johnny's, go in. What the fuck?
Right. So I needed, or I didn't. Well, I guess I didn't need. I wanted another top wide receiver, and I had been trying to trade with so many people. And I actually offered him a trade for Amon-Ra before, and he said no. But then today I was like, fuck it, we'll offer him something, and he was interested. So I offered him. We got to this trade, and at the end of the day, I feel like I only gave up one second, and it was really like Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt because he gave me the second rounder before for him. So I really
Yeah.
didn't give up any seconds. I gave up Brees Hall and Quentin Johnson for Amon-Ra is basically what it came down to. And I'm getting Jeremiah Love at 101. So I'm replacing Brees Hall there. Quentin Johnson's getting replaced by Amon-Ra. So now my receiver core is Malik Neighbors, Amon-Ra, and Zay Flowers. And I'm very, very happy about that. Oh man. Sorry. That's exciting stuff.
Man, Charlie, say yours, and then I'll talk afterwards. 'Cause
So
I can't fucking
man,
process it.
we were talking about this for a while. I think last episode I mentioned to you guys, I wanted to get this trade done with the commish. He egged me on for so long. And Johnny, Kokora here, you actually told me, you're like, hey, this trade, with my brother, what do you think? Blah blah blah. Funny enough, the other Kokora, the commissioner, texted me. He said, hey, I'm working on a trade right now. Are you still interested in Kyron Williams? Because if you say yes, this is going to influence what I do in this trade.
Well, thank you.
I told him, I'm interested. And guess what? He sent it over. But the thing is, Becker, you were like, he's probably going to go to my dad with some trades. Johnny, you agreed with it. And I was like, oh. And then you, Becker, you said Michael was texting your dad. I was like, oh, this is not good for me. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to jinx anything. And then this just came through. For me, I wanted Kyron because I have Blake Corum, who I think if Kyron goes, I have his replacement. If Kyron goes down, I have his replacement. To me, it's a really good pick. I didn't think that at 109 I was going to get a guy who I think could help me win right now. I think for me, it was probably going to be a reach guy who I would hope to develop. Kyron, I know he's not the greatest dynasty running back rather, but I do think he could be top 10. And really just consistent production and growing my running back room is the biggest thing that I needed. So for me, my running back room at top 3 now are Kenneth Walker, Travion Henderson, and now Kyron Williams is in the mix. So I feel really good about this one. And
you really didn't give up a lot either.
I mean, it's him and I were
This,
going
dude,
back.
I would have fucking offered him 108 and 302, and I could have gotten Kyron Williams. I would have fucking done that easily. But once again, he's on my do not trade list. So like, it's fine. It makes sense. But like, I can't. Anyways, this is what I'll say. I'm going to put this into a format of Team A or Team B. Which team would you want? So either Team A, you would get Brees Hall, QJ, 2 second rounders, but then also a 9th pick this year and pick 305. This may sound confusing, so just try to remember that. Or would you rather want Team B, who would get Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kyron Williams, and pick 211? So making it from that point, because the trades came at the same time, do you think Michael's team is going to get better, stay the same? What are you guys thinking, like, from that standpoint? Like, put it in Michael's, like...
I'm very, very happy that he traded with me, obviously. I don't know what he's going to do at wide receiver. I genuinely have no clue what he's going to do at wide receiver. He did not get better at wide receiver.
He didn't get better at wide receiver, but I also don't think like his team he got worse. Like I think his team right now, quality-wise, stays the same-ish. I think Brees Hall and Kyron, you probably could go either way, in my opinion. I know Brees is probably closer to a top 5 than a top 10, and Kyron's closer to a top 10 than a top 5. But when you get a first, 2 seconds, and a third, I mean, you're building up that depth. I think that this wide receiver room is so deep. We already kind of have a feel for how the first round in our dynasty draft is going to go. There's going to be a solid wide receiver there, I think, at 9. That's just what my gut tells me. So I think he can replace wide receiver there. He's still got Quentin Johnston, who, he's still solid. He's only 3 years in the league. Like, he can still develop. The Chargers offense will be good. So I think, like, overall, his team stays relatively the same value-wise, and then for future assets, got better for sure. But, like, I'm a happy camper. Johnny, you're a happy camper. Michael seems to be a happy camper. We're all happy, right?
You know why I'm happy? It's because last year, as soon as Malik Neighbors went down, my wide receivers were like done. Now, if any one of my wide receivers were done, I can at least fill in a backup spot with Zay Flowers or whoever, whoever gets hurt. I'm much happier with my team this year than I was last year at this time.
Really, the only thing I can say is this: from Michael's standpoint, if I would rather choose Breece Hall or Kyron Williams, I actually would rather want Breece Hall. I mean, with all due respect, but here's the thing, Charlie. I have to ask this. Dude, you just went from having Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson. You trade away Stevenson. Oh, but wait, who do you have? Blake Corum?
Yep.
So now you're going back to another Kyron Williams, Blake Corum situation, which, I mean, yeah, I mean, it seems like you know how that rolls. So, like, props to you. You know, we'll see how that goes. But you bring up a good point about the wide receiver situation. Like, because now he's going to have pick 9. But the funny thing is this. I have pick 6, 7, 8. And what does my team need more of? Wide receivers.
Take 3 running backs.
Yeah. So that's why, like, I think for Michael, it will work well for him. I know 2027, it's a stacked, like, draft. Like, it's going to be studs. So time will tell when next year comes, but gosh damn, it was so hard to take in both of those trades at the same fucking time.
I would like to say that one of the seconds I gave him was my dad's second next year, so it's probably going to be like 210, 211.
Yeah.
And the other one is his, so it's either going to be, good or bad depending on him.
It's so funny, though, that he did that at the exact same time for both of them.
Pleasure doing business, Charlie.
Hey,
Jeez.
I helped you. You helped me. Michael helped both of us. We helped him. It's a good day. Real quick, if I
Did
could
we
touch.
help him?
Kyron still finished running back 9 last year with Blake Corum getting the additional reps that he did get. Blake Corum wasn't really used in the third and short game. Kyron was still kind of that receiving back with the Rams. So I'm still like, last 3 years, Kyron's been a top 10 running back fantasy-wise. So I still feel happier in this situation than the Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson kind of deal.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But no, this is why we love the off season, man. Do whatever you fucking can. Who knows what can happen?
What a day, man.
Anyway, do we need to talk more about it, or should we?
No. I think we got to get back to our regularly scheduled program.
All right, for everyone that's listening, you're gonna probably be looking at a over-hour episode because of that. But dude, I need TJ. Come on, TJ. We can make a fucking trade right now. Anyways, all right. So now let's finally go back. I know we already talked about it before I was going fucking crazy. About my dad getting Tet, McCaffrey, Jacoby Myers, Isaiah Likely. I got T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, Parker Washington, and pick 108. So I'll make it really fast so I can skip to the next one. But yeah, basically from his standpoint, he's a playoff team now having McCaffrey. I know he's 29, but he was still RB1 last year. So he's ideally going to be at least, I would say, a top 7 RB, as long as he stays healthy. Ted McMillan, I know I lost that. Like, he's going to be a for sure franchise wide receiver. I think he's only 22 now. So, like, kind of knew I was going to lose out on that trade. Jacoby Myers is 29, but he still has a solid kind of floor. I know he's also, I believe he's 28 years old. So he'll be a nice, solid flex player for my dad. And he was very big on Isaiah Likely, very big. He wanted him in that trade, and I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll put it in. And he actually countered this. So this was technically my dad's trade. And for my sake, I was like, would I rather want Ted McMillan and Jacoby Myers or Garrett Wilson and T. Higgins? And like the dynasty standpoint from what I was thinking, I'm like, definitely would rather want Garrett Wilson and T. Higgins. And Parker Washington, I don't know if you guys saw his stats the last, I think it was 4 games of the regular season. He averaged over 100 yards, over 20 points. And in the playoff game they had, too, he had like 7 catches, 110 yards, and a TD. And knowing Travis Hunter, he's going to probably strictly be defense. He's happy with it. So he can be a solid, flex player for me when I have either injuries or players on buys. And then also pick 108. I just knew teams were already trying to trade with me because they wanted Mendoza. And I was like, let me just do 2 middle fucking fingers and get the 8th pick as well. So now I have pick 6, 7, 8. So from my standpoint, like, I'm happy of it. I still have a very good lineup, and I still have 3 picks in this year's very decent class. So, yeah, unless you guys have anything to say, I know we briefly talked a little bit about it, but I would say it's like a pretty fair trade, but I think my dad definitely won it with the Ted McMillan.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you obviously now have picks 6, 7, and 8. That is insane, especially with you still got your core running back. You still, you picked up studs in Garrett Wilson and T Higgins. I mean, granted, if Joe Burrow can stay healthy or not, that'll be the question there. But your dad is for sure a playoff team. And I mean, I say this with all due respect. When he took over this team, it was probably a bottom 2 team, I'd say, at least bottom 3 team. And now he's definitely a playoff contender. So I think you both win this trade. I don't think there's a loser in this trade. I think it's pretty fair overall.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd say there's a loser, but I would definitely say there's a winner. I think that your dad did win the trade. Getting McCaffrey and Tet and only having to give up T. Higgins and Garrett Wilson, I think is pretty significant. You did get 108, however, so having 106, 107, 108 is obviously, I mean, it's really nice to have back-to-back picks and be able to do whatever you want and not have to worry about anybody jumping you for players because who they can trade with, they're going to trade with you.
Yeah. Because I know for a fact, like, I probably wouldn't have made that trade if I didn't have picks 6 and 7. But once again, you guys are right. I mean, the Ted McMillan kind of scared me a little bit, but oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't think it's a terrible trade. I just think it was. It almost seemed like you were playing scared to get number 8. I'll be honest.
The thing with me is this, like, I know when it comes to that 8th pick and I have Mendoza there, I know there's going to be teams screaming. And TJ just told me he doesn't want to make that trade with me anymore, so I'm going to, like, fucking cry because you guys made fucking trades.
At least 2 of us made trades.
Yep.
I was so excited. TJ, much love, man. Hopefully we can maybe.
It's really funny because at the start you said 2 of us are looking to make trades, and one of them was supposed to be you.
Yeah, dude. I don't even want to talk about it now. So now I sadly will just go on to this next trade now because I had to look at TJ's message. All right, going on now to the next one, which is also my name. 7 months ago, this trade happened. I'm sorry, not happened. In the graveyard. Got offered pick 208 and pick 308 from Mr. Charlie here for Michael Penix. So I'll let Michael.
You offered me this.
Yeah, this was one you offered him.
You offered me this, dude.
Oh, this is interesting. So, wow. Okay.
He thought it was a bad trade when you thought you offered.
Anyways, either way here, at that point, I will say this. I was desperate at having an insurance quarterback. I swear Charlie and I were talking every single day for like 2 weeks straight of me trying to get Penix from him, Mayfield from him, or Stroud even. But I know, thank goodness you didn't accept it because, oh man, it would have probably backfired in the end, knowing there could be competition. I don't know, but I do think Tua is going to take the lead there. I truly do think, knowing Penix's like injury history, but I don't know what your standpoint was, like what you maybe thought out of that trade. Let's put this to a point: 7 months during the season when I was looking for a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I declined it. And at the time, like you said, 7 months ago, I mean, it was early in the NFL season, and it was like, well, Penix is still young. I mean, he's still very young. A couple years in the league, like, this guy could be something right now. Atlanta traded up to get him. Like, they're not going to give up on him. And at the time, I was like, no way in hell. This is a franchise quarterback. Let's go. Hindsight 2020, man, do I wish I made this trade because he's coming off an injury. He's now in a QB battle with two left-handed QBs with Kevin Stefanski, but that's a conversation for a different day. But yeah, I mean, I wish I would have pulled the trigger and said, you know what, let's do it. But can't go back in time, so this one kind of haunts me a little bit. But that's why it's in the graveyard.
Yeah. I see why you wouldn't want to do it at the time. But time being hindsight, God, this was probably the best offer you were ever going to get for Penix at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's really much to say about this trade.
Well, here's a positive here, Charlie. Mr. Stefanski dealt with quarterback situations for the last, I don't know, since he signed up to be the head coach there. knowing he had a salary of how much this past season with all the quarterbacks, So, who knows? Maybe Penix gets out of the shell. Maybe Penix does a Sam Darnold. Maybe he works behind Tua and gets traded. Dude, who knows? But yeah, thank goodness you didn't make that trade. Thanks, man. Now this is the trade that I was blushing all fucking day when Johnny told me that I will think about it. So I want you to take the floor here because this is your draft this year. So yeah.
So Becker offered me McCaffrey, Ted McMillan, 107 and 106 for my first rounder next year, 101 and 105. And when he sent it to me, I was like, wow, that's probably one of the most fair trades I've ever seen him send. To me, at least.
Hell yeah.
And so I had to sit and think about it and think about it and think about it. And I was like, man, am I really going to trade for a 29-year-old running back when I could just take a 20-year-old running back sitting right in front of me?
Yeah.
Tet was I really wanted another wide receiver. So Tet was he almost pushed me over the edge, honestly. And then you offered me Warren. And then I was like, wait, he's just throwing in Warren on top of the deal. And then you said, no, we'll tight end swap and I'll take your second rounder. And I was like, okay, no. So that was the no for me. Is as soon as you offered me Warren and you tried to get the second, I was like, no.
Yeah.
It was close. It was close. This was probably one of the most exciting trades I've been sent this offseason.
Sorry, I thought Charlie was going to talk.
No, I could give a little 2 cents. I think pick 101, especially this draft. I mean, that is the golden goose of this draft. Like, to Johnny's point, it's like 29-year-old running back, 20-year-old running back, meh. I mean, Jeremiah Love is projected to be a stud. I mean, no matter where he goes. And he's going to a running back needed team no matter where he goes. So I think it was wise to hold off simply for the fact of that age difference of however many years. I mean, it's damn near a decade between these guys. So yeah, to me, it was the right move to decline, but I can see how enticing that is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this would have been a damn crazy trade.
Yeah, more of the story is I kind of am happy now I didn't make that trade, knowing I got pick 8. So it makes me feel better that I can have 3 straight picks. But from your standpoint, just knowing you were thinking about it, I can forever say that I was the closest person to make a trade with you because Jeremiah Love definitely has more of a higher floor than what we saw Genty was in our last draft. That's just me personally saying it. Jeremiah Love is a 20-year-old game compared to Jahmyr Gibbs. So we can skip to great, it's me again. But this time it's something that is just between me and Ryan. And gosh, if this was pick 101, this would have been different, but this made no sense to me. He did offer me pick 102 and then 212 for Devon A-Chain. So I will say this, props to Ryan. I trying to give up 102 at that point before you give it to your dad was still intriguing, but there's no other running backs who compare in this draft to A-Chain. Because if I gave up, let's say, A-Chain for 102, I'm not going to jump and take Jadarian Price or jump up to get Coleman at pick 102 when I have the best wide receiver there. So from my standpoint, more of the story is I'm not giving up any of my fucking star running backs. Sorry, guys. Gibbs, Bijan, and now, Devon A-Chain. McCaffrey, I got to say I love you. You helped me win a championship. But yeah, and I will give a shout out to Ryan because I know we've been saying some stuff about Ryan's team and how we think it's shit. I was looking at his team and the draft capital that he has. He's looking good. I'm not saying, of course, he's going to go from last place to first place, but definitely think he deserves more respect. And I also respect the hustle that this man does to make trades because he's always active on that app. But that's all I have to say.
I think it's wise of you for this. If this was like any other draft that even had like, if it was flipped and wide receivers weren't the dominant ones and it was running backs who were like the dominant ones in this one, I'd say for sure do it. Um, but like to your point, like you're not gonna reach for a running back. You'd go wide receiver, and then at that point you're leaving a hole on your team at wide receiver. So like I get it, but man, if this was any other draft class, like this would have
Dude,
been
yeah.
a damn fair trade.
Yep.
See, I almost think a little bit differently because I think since it's such a strong wide receiver class, that's why people are trying to trade those high picks for running backs. If you needed a running back and you had those high picks, you're obviously just going to keep the high pick. I think giving up A Chain would have been hard, but also being able to snag the top wide receiver off the board maybe is worth it if you're like super high on a guy. Especially depending on where they go. Like, say you really want Carnell Tate and he goes to the Chiefs or something, and he's the number one guy there now. Well, obviously 102 might be worth it then for giving up a running back. Plus, you would still have Bijan and Gibbs, so it's not like you're stuck with some
Yeah,
bums on your team and you're trading them for a wide receiver.
exactly. But I know me, like, knowing going into these drafts, like last year, first pick, running back. This year, first pick, running back. I was already looking into 2027. I know the first pick will most likely 100% be Jeremiah Smith. But the second pick is, I know his last name is Hardy, who plays with Missouri, who's a running back. So, like, I think every draft we going forward, there's going to be a running back draft in the top 3 picks, at least. So I know for a fact, looking at A-Chain, Gibbs, and Bijan, they are all 23 and all are literally top 4 in Dynasty, and they're going to stay like that at least for the next 5 years. That's at least my take. But so props to Ryan. I still like the trade, but like there's just no running back asset with the second pick. Charlie, if you want to take the lead here, if you see the next one on the list, go for it.
Yeah, we'll actually stay with Ryan. This is a trade that he offered me. It was Khalil Shakir, Jalen Warren. That's who I'd be receiving. Again, this is mid-season last season, and I'd be giving up a first rounder that came from what team? What could go wrong? Okay, that was his first round pick, and at the time, I actually have the quote here that I said to Ryan. I said, "quote I don't hate this, but I just feel like this first is going to be so high." And boy, was I right. This turned out to be pick 102, but me being stupid, at the time he countered this and said, you know what? I'll throw in 2 third-round picks. And that, for some reason, in my brain said, okay, that's a good trade. So looking back, I could have had pick 102 in this draft, and instead I got Jalen Warren and Khalil Shakir, which I'm not mad about now. Like, they're solid players. Like, they're not the starters. I mean, Pittsburgh's running back room is crowded. Who knows how those reps are going to be split? Khalil Shakir, I actually might have a little more stock with the DJ Moore trade, considering he's not the number 1 option. I think he should be treated as a number 2 and a slot guy, and now I think he has that shot to shine. So, in the moment and looking back, yes, I'd probably, jump the gun, and I did, in hindsight, give up pick 102 for these 2 guys and 2/3, but still, like, this trade itself, I didn't take, but throw me 2/3, and I guess you can get me to do anything. So,
Yeah, I don't think it's. Yeah, I'll say it was a bad trade. It was a bad offer. Jalen Warren and Khalil Shakir for a first round pick. Um, it doesn't make sense to me. I know you said he threw in the 2/3, but still the value just is. I know Shakir was the wide receiver 1, but like he was never a great wide receiver 1. And Jalen Warren, I think they tried to draft a running back to replace him last year. Like they're gonna do it again at some point. I guarantee you they draft a running back in this draft because Caleb Johnson didn't pan out, and like they're just trying to. I don't know. 102 for you now with the team you have
yeah.
would have been fucking disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
When you look at this trade too, like looking at it now, what sucks is, Jalen Warren, he was by himself. They signed Rico. DJ Moore goes to the Bills. So like, if this trade was offered like now, of course, fucking big ass difference. But like, that's why sometimes the trades that you make in the off season, you just have to risk it and just fucking go for it. But at the same time too, like, it's still the 102. Like it's still so much to give up. But we might have an exciting guest here, guys. That's about to walk in here.
Ooh.
No, he peeked in and he was giving me a smile because seeing the trades that have coming in. So stay tuned because this might be the debut of everybody meeting the new and proud owner of Prestige Worldwide. So stay tuned to that.
Gets me excited.
So if I have to pause it anytime going forward, the Rage Baiter has to speak. So now we're going to go into this next one. Same thing. Johnny, go ahead and take it over. This is one with you and
This is
Cuzzo
me and Andrew. So the reason this trade made it here is because I don't think he ever even looked at the trade. I'll be complete. It sat in the trade for a month. It sat there for a month. I don't think he ever looked at it. So I offered him Jake Tonjes, Malik Washington, Woody Marks, and 201 for Javonte Williams and Ricky Pearsall. Now, at the time, Woody Marks was the starter in Houston. 201, obviously, the first pick in the second round, so basically another first-round pick. Malik Washington, I think, was the number one wide receiver in Miami, which he still is because they don't have anyone. And then Tonjes, obviously, I think Kittle might miss some time because he tore his Achilles at the end of last season. I thought it was a decently fair trade. I was waiting for him to counter or say anything or do any kind of negotiation, and it just sat. And that is why it's a graveyard trade, because it was dead from the minute I decided it was a good idea to try to trade with Andrew.
When I look at this trade, because this was before David Montgomery, right?
Yeah, it was before David Montgomery
and everything. So, looking at it, like, Woody Marks had a promising, rookie year. So I was like, I think there was a point that I was even trying to, like, get Woody Marks before he got traded. But thank goodness I didn't because David Montgomery went there. But also knowing he was going to get picked 201, he's also, like, if you look at his age and, like, his team, like, his team's old.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know he has some young players, but, like, when you think about it, like, he has some old players. And also his quarterback situation, his backup's Geno Smith, his starter's Jaden Daniels. So, like, with that 201, you could have gotten, like, a Ty Simpson maybe falling there, But, yeah, I think for your sake, you would have won it with Javonte Williams and, Ricky Pearsall right now because Juwan Jennings isn't in the mix currently, hasn't been signed. So if this trade would have happened, you would have definitely won the trade. But of course, love you, Andrew, but we know he's never really on the sleeper app as much as we are.
Yeah, I think if this trade would have been accepted, you would have robbed him blindly in hindsight. That being said, at the time, Javonte Williams was just kind of going off like every other week, which was insane. I think he finished as running back 12. I've never personally been high on Woody Marks. Yes, he had a pretty solid rookie year. To me, I just was kind of meh about him. Malik Washington, yes, he was wide receiver 1 over there, still is, but it's like I think he's been dropped and picked up numerous times this offseason alone. You've done it.
He's my trade bait. I've traded him away 3 times, and everybody cuts him, so I pick him back up.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just kind of
trade bait.
It's trade bait. And then Jake Tonjes. I mean, that's. I mean, yes, Kittle's getting older.
He does have Kittle too, so it was the backup to Kittle.
So I get it. And pick 201 to Becker's point, like quarterback could have fallen there. Like Ty Simpson definitely fallen there. Like I don't think Ty's going in the first round. And if he does, we need to have a serious intervention with whoever takes him in the first round because that's woo. But for you to get Javonte Williams and Ricky, like I think you'd rob him, and fair enough. I mean, you'd rob him, but I could see why this ended in the graveyard because they're just there was ghosts coming out of this pending request.
I will say this: the latest official NFL mock draft I saw, they had Ty Simpson actually going with the 5th pick to the Cardinals, saying he's going to be the 4th pick. That's how much draft stock Ty Simpson has gotten. So that's why I'm saying, I said it in the last episode, that you never know, like, this draft order that we currently have is going to change drastically. But that's the thing. No, we'll never know because that trade never happened. Now going to the next one here. I think we're going back to, is this me now?
Back to you, yeah.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to try to do this one without laughing as much. So, I got offered Terry McLaurin and pick 211 for Tet McMillan. So I think I'm going to actually stop it there because I'm going to let the rage baiter himself be introduced to Keeping Up with the RDF. Welcome, Prestige Worldwide. You can make your presence. Come back a little bit farther.
I don't need to come back any further.
What do you got to say?
You know, for 4 fucking days, I've been working your cousin and your brother. And you two pricks come in underneath me. Unbelievable. No, I think it went well for both sides, honestly.
Yeah.
He gave him some help, and you got some help back. I understood what you guys did there.
Dude, it was all brotherly love.
Yeah, definitely brotherly love.
Hey, we're keeping it in the family, you know?
So, just explain to me why you got rid of Hall. It was all for St. Brown?
Yeah, I'm getting Jeremiah Love at 101, so I wasn't really as worried about it. And now I got Neighbors, Amon-Ra, and Zay Flowers as my wide receivers.
Stop talking high on Zay Flowers, dude. You gotta cut that out. You can't be acting like he's a stud. You can't do that. You have Malik and you have Amon-Ra. You can't be like Zay Flowers.
I would say Zay Flowers is better than Marv right now.
Sure, because Marv hasn't had a quarterback.
Dude, I'll take it. I'm sorry that your fantasy wide receiver doesn't have a quarterback. That's not my problem.
Yeah, but you gave up you gave up a top pick for Zay Flowers.
I gave up 109, dude. I wasn't gonna get anyone better at 109.
So I'll be interested now to see what Michael does with that 109. Because you got your Charlie, you got your 109?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried. He had on the board just like an hour ago, and I don't mind saying it. He wanted a Duzmo and Swift. He wanted to give me, what did I say it was? McLaurin and Jacobs. And I'm not a McLaurin fan. I never have been. So I tried to get Ibuka from him. He says, well, I can't do that because I got a couple trades in the work. So now I'm like, I never even saw the first trade, the St. Brown trade with Johnny. So when I saw the Charlie trade, I'm like, I go, well, what does that have to do with our trade? I go, it has nothing to do with it. He goes, well, I got Bryce Hall, and I'm looking at his roster. I'm like, you don't have fucking Bryce Hall. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, well, I just made a trade, with my brother. I'm like, So then I scrolled back a little further and saw what was going on. So congrats to both. I'm going down to watch NCAA basketball. Podcast is on.
Oh,
DJ
yeah.
and Misery still have no wide receivers.
Well, there's the first parents from my dad there, and did not know he was gonna go straight to it. So apologize with the language there that he came straight in with. But yeah, man, this fucking league is it's insane. My dog's freaking out because I'm cussing so much. All right, going back now to this Terry 211 trade for Tet McMillan. Before, I don't even know like what to really say at this point because I don't understand. Like Michael, once again, I fucking love you, but truly have no fucking idea. From flipping roles here, how would it look like if you were getting offered a 30-year-old wide receiver and a late second rounder that truly means nothing to me for a rookie of the year over 1,000-yard receiver in their first season? I just truly don't understand. That's what I'm saying. Like, I love him so much, but we never see eye to eye with trades. I just never understand some of the offers that I get from him. And I know he uses keep trade cut. And I know I use keep trade cut. We know that. So when we make our trades, we always go off of keep trade cut. But in this trade, I forgot when this trade was offered to me. But holy fucking shit, like, dude, I need like 5 limoncello shots now at this fucking point. I have nothing else to say. Once again, we'll always love you, Kamish, but I have no way how that helps me and my team. Thank goodness I never accepted that. Or even I think I declined it. And I think Johnny, you offered me a trade the other day and I declined it in 2 seconds. So I do the same thing. Like if I hate a trade, I don't wait on it. I don't say like, let me think about it. Dude, I will fucking no. I don't waste time. That's all I have to say. Much love, but it made no sense to me.
So yeah, I mean, Terry's 30 to your point. Tet's rookie of the year at 22 years old. 8-year age gap there, so that I think plays a factor into this one. Pick 211 is also 2 picks away from being a 3rd-round pick. So I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, listen, I'm OH, Terry, my soul, love you.
Dude, yeah.
I always will have love for Terry McLaurin. However, when it comes to dynasty football, no, thank you. This trade, I don't have any much more to say than Becker did. It's kind of baffling that this was a thought that was like, this could work.
Yeah, I'm not I'm not sure that I have much to add to that. I've seen him offer some crazy trades, and I've been offered. I mean, he offered me a 2nd-round pick for Ja'Cory Merritt. I don't know what the mental gymnastics is there. Um, I think he just gets a little excited. And I really think that's all it is he gets a little excited. I mean, we all get excited about our trades. Um, I just I don't know how much thought was put into this one.
Dude, and now like I look at these trades that came in. Let me go back to these trades again because now I want to compare some of the trades that I sent him to the ones that he just accepted. So Brees Hall, QJ, 2 second-rounders. I offered him Christian McCaffrey, Ted McMillan, and a 2nd-rounder. And then he was going to give me Amon-Ra, James Cooks, and a 3rd-rounder. So, I mean, from his standpoint, he decided to take Brees Hall and QJ over Christian McCaffrey and Ted McMillan and a 2nd-rounder.
But he only had to give up Amon-Ra, not James Cook.
That's true. But then knowing that he got Kyron Williams now, like, it changed a little. Like, I don't know. He gave away Kyron Williams too. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't understand some of the trade mindsets. I'm very happy you guys were able to work with trade with him. I just wasn't able to, and I probably will never be able to. But once again, I still fucking love that man, but we just can never make trades. But we don't talk too much more about that. So if we're on the right page here, Charlie, if you want to take it over, because this is also another one with Cuzzo himself, Mr. Kamish.
Kamish, we're going to jump to this next one. And listen, we just had a great trade. We're both happy from that trade. This is a trade that you sent me 7 months ago during the NFL season. And oh boy, is it a trade? Personally, I think a trade of this quality should have you arrested. However, there was never a point in the season where Isaiah Pacheco was like, "Oh my God, wow, beautiful, let me trade for him." Kareem Hunt was outperforming him. And you could say, oh, Kareem got it on the goal line more, whatever. Even when he wasn't getting on the goal line, Kareem was better. Kareem Hunt and his veteran ages has been better all of last season compared to Isaiah Pacheco. And obviously now Pacheco is a backup to Jahmyr Gibbs in Detroit. So, yeah, I mean, I traded away A.J. Brown to get pick 3 to then get me TreVeyon Henderson. So pick 3, is pick 3 essentially worth Isaiah Pacheco? In my eyes, no. Would love to see your guys' thoughts because to me this was a very quick a no.
Yeah. Again, I don't know what the thought process is. TreVeyon Henderson, he was a rookie. He had, I mean, mid season, right? That he offered you this mid season, so he had a couple of explosive games already, and he offered you a backup running back, an early 3rd and a 2nd-rounder in 27.
Did you see what he just texted
I
us?
did just see what he just texted.
Dude, he's listening. The commish
Wow.
just texted us and said no harsh things about me in the podcast. Commish, we love you, but this podcast is not so kind. I'm so
I
sorry.
just stop talking now.
No. And here's the thing: we're not talking shit about the current trades that just went in, but we're gonna still talk shit about these trades that you got last year. Like,
Listen, we've all sent bad trades. Like,
Yeah.
I know I have bad trades out there that are just luckily enough not getting talked about today. But this is I mean, he didn't even offer you at first. Like,
No.
Trevion Henderson was the third pick in our rookie draft, right? Or was he the fourth?
Third.
No, he was the third. And he offered you the fourth pick in the third round and a backup running back who couldn't outperform a 29-year-old veteran.
Yeah.
And 27 second. I don't think
Yeah.
anything else needs to be said.
you both, yeah. Yeah, you spot on. Like, when I'm looking at it, okay, I get it. I know the first half of the year, Travion Henderson, like, he was an extreme boom bust candidate because even though Stevenson was having his struggles or fumbling, he was still getting way more carries and way more opportunities. So, like, I guess people maybe were like, yeah, maybe I can get Travion Henderson with like a dirt cheap price. But once again, yeah, looking at that trade, it just made absolutely no sense. Isaiah Pacheco was clearly, Charlie, like you were saying, no stud top 10 RB. I don't even care if he was even a top 15. Like there's no way you give away rookie sensation of Henderson like that for literally a open bag of Starburst. And like I don't know. Yeah.
You're at a loss for words.
We can skip that one as well. But once again, much love to the commish. Now we're going to Johnny. If you want to take this one over, if we're looking at the right one.
Was probably the trade that I worked the hardest for out of every trade that I've made in the Dynasty football history. I spent weeks on this trade, going back and forth, trying different people. But the final biggest trade I sent him was, so I wanted George Pickens and Tyler Warren for Jake Tonjes, Malik Washington, Woody Marks, 109, 201, and 108. At the time, your dad had 0 picks and no running backs. So I was like, fuck it. He had a bunch of wide receivers. I was trying to get the best. I was trying to get his best one. Woody Marks was still the starter at the time I offered him this trade. Maybe he still is. I think Montgomery's probably the starter there now. Tonjes, I mean, Kittle had just torn his Achilles in the playoffs, so no one had a timetable on his return. And so I was like, all right, we're going to go big or go home. And we went back and forth for weeks before I finally gave up all hope on this trade ever happening. And that is why it's the last trade in the fucking graveyard.
Charlie, if I can take the floor here, Johnny, I fully respect your hustle, but if I was offered this trade, I would fucking decline this trade in like negative 5 billion seconds. I get where you're going with this trade, but here's the thing: the value of Pickens and Tyler Warren. Clearly, looking at it, Jake Tongs, great. He's currently a tight end 1, but Malik Washington, he is wide receiver 1. That's great. But I know for a fact the Dolphins are going to take either Tate, Tyson, or Mekhi Lemon in the draft. Unless Malik Washington ends up being the next Jamar Chase somehow. But, and also looking Woody Marks as well. Nah, I'll pass. I'm good. And picks 89201. That's like the only good thing. The players, I think, kind of just like Like, I feel like you should have given him a little bit more value of one player. But I will say the 8, 9, and 201 would be reasonable. But me personally, I will say this about trades: if you offer me your full lineup and you just want one person from me, I can tell, like, if you look on Keep Trade Cut, people do that to me and they're like, oh, well, the value's perfectly fine. I'm like, oh, yeah, so I want your third string tight end, your fourth string running back, your 2 fourth rounders, and a second rounder in 2028 will match Devon Achane's value. Yeah, I'll definitely accept that, 100%. So I respect the hustle, but I know I would decline this trade really fast. Love you so much, but I know for a fact Pickens and Tyler Warren would have extreme value. You know what? I got Tyler Warren, so
I think the worst part is he kept leading me on. He kept like, "Oh, we're close. We're close."
It's the picks. I'm telling you, once he saw those picks and he didn't have any, like, that's why I offered him a first rounder next year just so he can have one. So when we made like one of our trades earlier, but yeah,
No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, I think
respect the hustle.
honestly, like you could have included no players, and I think that this gets closer to getting done. Only because like that's not like I'm serious. I think if you could have gave him either a higher first this year, like if you gave him 5 instead of like 9 or something like that, or if you gave
At the
him
time, I only had 8 and 9.
fair,
Then I
but,
traded up for 5 after the trade didn't go through.
and the tricky thing is like, you don't have like any picks in future drafts to even offer. Like, dude, if you had a first next year, I think you
You have a
easily
first next
could
year.
have thrown. Okay, now you do.
So I had one during the trade.
You should. If you honestly, I think if you would have done this package, remove the play. So if you would have offered 108, 109, 201 in the first next year, I think that I think this could have gotten done. Legitimately.
We just had a guest appearance from the third best team in the league.
Yeah, he popped in, popped right out, said
He
what's
did
up.
pop in and pop out. He didn't give nearly.
I didn't see him.
Dude, he's
He
quick.
didn't give nearly the introduction that your dad did.
He's got cat-like
Damn.
reflexes, man.
A legit ghost in the graveyard there. Fuck. Damn, I think that was the last one, yeah?
That was the last one.
All right. Well, this definitely went on a roller coaster of
That was a crazy
starting
episode.
with yeah, this episode's gonna definitely, I don't even know how long we're at right now, but like
we're at about an hour.
knowing 2 trades happened ASAP to then my
Yeah.
dad appearing to finally get into these trades. It's gonna definitely be probably one of my favorite ones for sure.
Things got freaking wild this episode.
Oh yeah.
But definitely we have to make sure we end it off with 4th and 10 seconds here. You know, I feel like you guys might have similar 4th and 10 seconds, but I don't know. But Charlie, if you want to start it off, man, you know, start with a little 10 here and go.
Yeah, I'll start off by saying, Kamish, listen, we've had our differences. Today we put those differences aside. We found mutual ground. We did it. Let's do this more often. This feels good, man. It feels like harmony. Let's keep it going. Come on.
Very, very clean, very nice, very well said. All right, Mr. Johnny.
Yeah.
You go.
Similar route, you know. Thank you for blessing me with Amon Ra. I feel like it was a good trade for both of us, mostly me. And you know, to everybody else in the league, just keep your inboxes open. You know, who says I'm done?
Job's not finished. Well, 3, 2, 1, go. A couple things here. One, still very upset Michael and I never made a trade, knowing 2 of them happened literally right in front of me. And TJ, dude, we're so fucking close to making a trade happen. So please, let's just make it happen. And maybe next episode we can make a live trade. But that's all I have to say. Thanks for listening in. You know, I don't have much more to really talk about. You know, lots of stuff being said. And hopefully everybody will have the patience to be able to watch all of this episode because it's fucking crazy. But and also shout out to everybody that watches our YouTube reels. Like, we're realizing how many people are actually watching it, and we'll definitely make sure to keep on posting stuff in there, and you know, continue doing whatever we can to make the podcast you know, all fun for everyone. But keeping up with the RDF episode 4, appreciate all the love as always from your 3 Italian boys. Doses.